Are inching along like a snail at this point, and someone's got to make a big move, and it's just a staring contest.
ESPN MLB insider Jeff Passan says both sides are far apart.
Which makes me, and I hate to say this, not very optimistic about the season starting on March 31st.
They meet again today. Todd Ant, ABC News.
The CDC today expected to issue updated guidelines about mask wearing. Officials tell ABC News it would ease mask recommendations for many parts of the country. This is ABC News.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you...
ABC News.
In the early days of the pandemic, lawyers for Cincinnati Insurance say policy covers only accidental physical loss to property, not financial setbacks caused by closing. Eric Brown, ONN News.
And I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Live and local conversation for the Ohio Valley continues shortly, here on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
I'm not buying till I check on for.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doan Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doan Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doan Ford. Online at DoanFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doan Ford.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Sometimes the best time to prune trees is when they're dormant or with no leaves on them. For ISA certified arborists, it helps them see what branches may need to be pruned or removed. Dormant season pruning can also help lessen problems associated with insects and diseases and help create structurally stronger trees that can better handle heavy wet snows or ice buildup. Contact an ISA certified arborist to get the best professional advice on keeping your trees healthy and safe. Go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
Dutch Boy Platinum Plus. It's only paint. It's only paint that comes in a twist and pour container. It's only paint that will transform your den with just one coat of salted lavender into a writer's sanctuary. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where you'll meet this guy
Hey,
who starred in that thing.
now that's a twist I didn't see coming.
Dutch Boy. It's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life paint. Only at Menards. Get 11% off everything, including Dutch Boy paint.
Stand by. You're back to live and local programming in moments on The Watchdog.
Hello, everyone, from The Watchdog. I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Friday. Mostly cloudy and cold with a high near 43. An overnight low of 24 under mostly cloudy skies with a couple of snowflakes mixed in. And then you'll see mostly cloudy skies for your Saturday with highs in the lower 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone, from The Watchdog. I am the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
In the year 1898, Marconi sent his first radio message across the English Channel.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Let's have a tune. I'm sick of this silence.
There's nothing wrong with being fun and popular and just giving people what they want.
This is not a radio fantasy camp. We're on the air here.
You seem happy this morning.
Is it Friday already?
Friday.
All I'm doing is getting on the air. The revolution will be broadcast.
How about Friday?
What's this?
Did you ever hear of a thing called radio?
Thank God it's Friday!
It's show time. Live from the Robinson Auto Group studios, this is the Valley's longest-running morning show, the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe from WKKX and WVLY.
Good morning, my friends. We've made it through, and we made it through Friday, or to Friday, and almost through Friday, so almost made it through another week. We'll just push on ahead for another 3 hours, and then we can say sayonara to each other for the weekend and have a good time. It's a cool morning, 36 degrees, Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 35 degrees at the home studios from which I broadcast here in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, and 35 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Biff, is it raining, or was it raining when you came in this morning?
The rain has stopped, but it was raining just a little bit on the way in, and it has since stopped.
I was surprised to see that we actually have a flood advisory in effect for small creeks and streams. It only lasts for an hour or so, according to what I'm looking at here for the National Weather Service. It only lasts until 8 o'clock, but we do have a flood advisory for small creeks and streams because of, it says, heavy overnight flooding. I must have slept through the rain, I guess. Or heavy overnight rain, not flooding. Heavy overnight rain. I must have slept through it. Did we have a good rain last night, or did you sleep through it too?
Well, I know it was raining pretty good, and heard it a little bit during the overnight, but I think this morning I caught the tail end of it, and it was on its way out at that point. So it was just whatever was left over that moved through, and now at least it has since quit.
All right, well, flood advisory. It's not a watch, not a warning, just an advisory. We could see some small creek or stream flooding. Be aware of that. The notes I have here from the Big Sevens Forecast Center is rain starts off this morning, will end around sunrise. So, again, just about an hour or so. We've got a little less than an inch of rain, which means there's ponding on the roads and localized flooding is possible. Following the rain, Aaron Myler says there could be a few flurries, but we're not talking about snow, just a flurry or two. And we're kind of around where we're going to be all day long. Temperature not going to change much. 36 at the airport, 35 here at the studios, and 35 downtown. Aaron will give us all the details coming up a little bit later on here on the show. 7:13, 13 after the hour. Any big plans for the weekend, Biffy? We got games this weekend?
West Virginia plays tomorrow.
Okay, but so you don't have to come in this weekend, right?
No, we've got
just checking.
No, we don't have anything except for West Virginia tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and then the Penguins on Saturday and Sunday. So that's it for the weekend.
So it kind of frees you up. You gonna have any big plans? Gonna do anything special this weekend?
Nothing as of right now. I mean, well, I know my niece has some type of rehearsal, recital thing going on in Bel Air, so I'll probably go to that tonight. It's I think tonight and tomorrow in the afternoon, but I think we're gonna go tonight.
She's tonight, yeah.
Yeah, and then tomorrow probably just go to the hockey game tomorrow night, and Sunday will be normal Sunday, so nothing really big planned. I mean, that's it.
I have as far as I know, no plans this weekend. I'm not sure what Teddy's situation is. If he always has a lot of birthday parties and stuff I have to go to. So if he's around, I'll have a play date with Teddy. Otherwise, I don't have any great plans either. And it is interesting. There's a new report that's been on my desk here for a couple of weeks and I haven't gotten around to it. But it basically says, and I have been this way for some time, and the pandemic has magnified it. But apparently this has become true of the vast majority of people. New study, 71% of the people surveyed say they hope their plans are canceled. 71% of the people surveyed say if they have any plans, they hope they're canceled because they would rather stay in. 75% of the people surveyed say there's nothing better than just having no plans for the weekend, just staying in and hanging out. This was conducted a little bit earlier this month, so this is after most of the quarantines and lockdowns and so on. But it says that the vast majority of us would prefer to stay in. Now, this has been me for a long time. I have been a homebody for a long time. I know some of you who knew me in the old days are going, "What the hell are you talking about, Monroe?" But no, I've been a homebody. I like to stay home, watch TV, read a book, take a nap, whatever. So this has been me. But I just figured it's me getting old. I just figured it's a function of being an old guy. But apparently even young people are feeling that way too. Now, staying home doesn't mean being by yourself. 70% of the people surveyed say they like to stay home with friends or have friends come over. They have watch some football or eat some pizza or see a good movie, but they just don't want to go out. Don't want to go out to a big event. And that's me, Biffy. I'm just, I'm not. I mean, do you look forward to going out? You go to the Nailers games a good bit. You don't do a whole lot more than that. I mean, you're not a. I don't see you going to concerts. I don't see you going to events very often, right?
No, I mean I'm out a little bit. And that's it, depending on what time of the year it is and what's going on and everything.
Here's a list of activities in this survey that was taken. What would be part of your perfect weekend? The number one answer was, and you do this, Biffy, I do not, going for a walk. Number one thing people say they wouldn't mind going for the weekend. Just take a little walk. You walk a good bit.
Yeah, because when you get, especially this time of the year, when you get a day or two where it's going to be warm, you better take advantage of it because you don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get, especially with the way our temperatures have been. It's been a roller coaster ride, so when you get a day in the 60s, even if it's one day, you take advantage of it, especially when you know we're going to get rain and you don't know how many days it's going to last.
That's true. So the number one activity people have as part of their perfect weekend going for a walk. Number two, and I am not the walker, but number two, this one's me, reading a good book from start to finish. I read a lot of books lately. I'm talking about novels, cop fiction, legal thrillers. I read a lot for work. I read a lot of political stuff. I read a lot of biographies and things that are kind of good for the mind. But what I really enjoy on the weekend was just sitting down with a crappy novel and reading it from start to finish. That's number two on the list of things that people like to do. Number three, oh baby, take a nap. That's me, pal. If I could take a nap in the middle of the day, life is really good. binge watching TV. My wife and I are always binge watching. We're still looking for the next good binge. We binged on the cop show Bosch for about 3 weeks. We watched all 7 seasons. And we've been dipping in and out. People have been giving me some recommendations on different things to watch. One of my buddies suggested that the TV series Ozark, which I know a lot of folks watch. I couldn't get into it. I'm going to go back and revisit it, see if I can. We watched a really lightweight cop show last night called The Rookie. It was on ABC. It's about a guy in midlife who becomes a cop, and he's a rookie. You know, most of the experienced cops are his age, and he's a new cop. It was like, we watched it, but it wasn't a big deal. Binge watching TV in the list of things people like to do. Watching movies, playing video games, which I do only when Teddy is around. And then number 10 on the list of things people want to do for the weekend. God, this is my wife, and for me, it's, oh Lord, no. Cleaning. If you have the weekend to yourself, why would you want to clean? Anyway, most of us want to stay home. That's the bottom line. Most of us, we actually look forward to plans being canceled so we can stay home, binge watch, read a book, drink some wine, whatever. Thought that was kind of interesting. 7:20, 20 after the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Well, we've got a lot to do today, continuing coverage of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. ABC will give us continuous updates throughout the morning. We'll look at the response and the sanctions that Biden proposed yesterday. We'll have some reaction from local officials to the Ukrainian invasion and to the Biden response to it. Public transit in Wheeling and several other cities around West Virginia could be in jeopardy. A bill to move funding forward is stalled in the House of Delegates. We're going to talk to Nexstar Media reporter Mark Curtis about that story. Biffy, we're going to get into this in just a minute. I want to get your take on it. Coaches and the SSAC do not want to do this. But the West Virginia Senate yesterday okayed an athlete transfer bill for high school athletes. Critics say it's going to lead to recruiting and player shopping at the high school level. I'll share some of the different opinions, including from Bernie Dolan and some coaches. I want to get yours on this, Biff. We'll talk about that in a bit. A bill involving natural immunity moves out of the House Health Committee down in Charleston, even as the sponsors once again say, when asked, do we have a problem with this? I don't know. Well, where is the information you got that thinks this is correct? Oh, no, but I believe it. Well, could you give me an example of what information you gathered? Oh, no, I read somewhere. God help us. That's how we're making legislation these days. And it's Friday, so the Friday Roundtable, newspaper editor John McCabe and I will reflect on the legacy of Sheriff Abdallah, review Wheeling manager Bob Herron's 20 years in that post, and we'll opine on the latest from the legislature. And as always, we'll send you into the weekend with the Friday funnies, including some stand-up and late-night comedy, plus some salacious celebrity gossip. That's what I have. It's from me to ye. What do you have for me? You can text me, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, the text line, or you can call me, 304-232-8255. And by the way, if you have recommendations for a good TV series, my wife and I can start binging. Got a lot of episodes up online someplace so we could binge watch it. Text that to me at 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Well, the coaches said don't do it. The SSAC said don't do it. The West Virginia Senate said, okay, we're going to do it. I'll tell you what it is and get some thoughts on it coming up next on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is 7:23.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Now is the time to explore Toyota's wide range of all-wheel and four-wheel drive vehicles. Like the brand new Corolla Cross with available all-wheel drive and more cargo room than ever. Or go off-road in a rugged new 4Runner. Visit your Toyota dealer today. Or go online to buyatoyota.com, the official website for deals. Hurry, offers end February 28th. Toyota, let's go places.
My name's Teresa, and I'm a special educator in Lost Creek.
And my name is Megan, and I live in Marlinton. I'm a single mom with 4 amazing kids, and I work full-time at a nonprofit.
When I got COVID last fall, I was able to take paid leave. But if I got COVID now, we'd be choosing between paying bills and buying groceries.
Like many families in West Virginia, my struggle is finding childcare. Too many parents are facing impossible choices between working and caring for their kids.
Emergencies happen. If you are working hard at a job and get COVID and get sick, it shouldn't be financially devastating.
It's past time we invested in childcare so parents can work, providers are paid living wages, and kids get a strong start. Senator Manchin, my family is counting on you.
Senator Manchin, my family is counting on you too.
It's time that we ensure that our families and economy thrive.
It's time to pass Build Back Better.
Paid for by Moms Rising Together.
If you need local news, you trust WTRF-TV. And you will find TV7 News all day. Right here on The Watchdog. AM 1600 and 1370. FM 98.1 and FM 97.7. WKKX and WVLY.
Great conversation continues now on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
I do want to remind you, if you'd like to watch our video feed of this show, of Bill's show, of the Mayor's show, of the girls' Winging It show, Donnie, the Dance with Donnie G show with Bob Slider. You can do that now on Twitter. Our video feed now posts to Twitter, so you can find it right on the Watchdogs Twitter page. That's at WatchdogWV. That's the Twitter handle. And the Twitter feed of our video feed is right there at the top of the page, so you can watch it there. Always, you can watch our video feed at watchdognetwork.com. Go to watchdognetwork.com, scroll until you find the video box. It's right there. We're rolling in the video box. And if you're at watchdognetwork.com, click on the link to YouTube. There's a link there that says YouTube. Click on the YouTube link, and it will take you to our YouTube channel, where you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and the video feed you will be alerted every time we do a video feed. So little additional ways to watch us if you choose to watch the video feed, including as of this week on Twitter. So check that out. 7:27 here on the Watchdog Morning Show. In West Virginia, Biff, right now, if you transfer schools, a lot of high school athletes need to sit out a year of eligibility if they transfer from one school to another. The West Virginia Senate this week passed a bill that would grant student athletes a one-time only transfer without losing a year of athletic eligibility. It was overwhelmingly approved by the state Senate this week, but not without opposition from both the SSAC and the Coaches Association. Now, the supporters of the bill say this way, if people transfer simply because they want to transfer for academic reasons, they like one school better than another school because of they've got a better math program or something. That was a specific example that was used, as a matter of fact. They should be allowed to do that without penalty. But the SSAC says there are unintended consequences of that bill. Bernie Dolan from the SSAC said if the bill is passed, and it has passed the Senate, goes to the House now, if it becomes law, it would create a high school version of the transfer portal. I think in areas where there are lots of schools, you'll see lots of hopping around from school to school. There will be a lot of recruiting says Bernie Dolan. And the State Coaches Association issued a letter opposing this idea. The letter says the bill allows, quote, athletics to precede academics. And it would, and I quote again from the Coaches Association, it would allow athletics to precede academics and would increase the likelihood of overzealous adults recruiting kids to play sports at a certain school. Bernie Dolan threw out some numbers which actually seem to show that it is not, once again, we're going to try and solve a problem that isn't a problem. In a calendar year, February last year to February of this year, 115 people appealed their residence transfer, appealed the rule that says they can't have eligibility. 115 appealed it. 70% of the appeals were approved. Bernie Dolan says there are almost 40,000 high school student athletes in West Virginia. 115 appealed the idea that you got to sit out a year if you transfer schools. And of those appeals, 70 of them were approved. Says Bernie Dolan, it doesn't sound like we have a problem that needs to be fixed. A couple of things about this catch my attention. Probably the first one is simply something that I've been talking about over and over and over again this year. Once again, the legislature chooses not to listen to the people who are involved. They pass education bills and ignore the input of educators, school board members, teachers, administrators. They're passing medical bills and they ignore the advice of medical professionals. We'll talk about some of that coming up a little bit later on. They're passing a bill involving high school athletics and they're ignoring the advice of people who are involved in high school athletics. And that to me is just typical of where this legislature is. They know better than anybody else. And it also, again, seems to be solving a problem that isn't there. There doesn't seem to really be a problem. So, Biffy, you got any thoughts on this? I know you pay close attention to what goes on in high school sports.
Yeah,
I think this bill makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense because I don't know of any students. I think it's a small percentage that transfer schools for academic reasons. A majority of them are for, I believe, athletics. You might get a couple that are for academics, but the majority, if they switch schools, I believe it's because of the athletics. And look at some of the schools down south, some of the ones that are close together, that you can live in one area and drive, say, 15, 20 minutes just to go to another school. And how many people do that daily? I mean, there are situations with residency issues, and we see it all the time. And the recruiting thing, that's nothing new up here. I mean, just we hear it year after year after year after year, and it's in some cases it's ridiculous, but it does happen in others. But this, no, I do not think. I hope it doesn't pass because now you're talking like they're saying the college equivalent of the transfer portal. You're going to see it in high school now, and high school is kind of like the only level I think left where you don't have too many problems that you run into, but if they want to try and make high school football like college football, same thing's going to happen. It's going to ruin high schools, and especially who's it going to hurt? The same schools it's going to hurt in colleges. It's going to hurt the smaller high schools.
Sure.
I mean just look at the classes and the enrollments and everything of some of the biggest schools in the state, and they're going to get bigger.
It isn't as big an issue for us as it is in other parts of the state where they have, a lot of schools in a smaller area where it's easier to, transfer. I mean, it would affect us up here, but we wouldn't be the top of the list of those being affected. But other areas, I think, really would be. And I think the Coaches Association and the SSAC raised some pretty good questions. And the numbers, in particular, that Bernie Dolan pointed out, go to prove this. We're having the same debate in the Planning Commission in Wheeling with City Council with some other issues. Council wants to make some changes, and when you look at the specifics of what's been happening, you realize there isn't a problem. So you look at this, athletic transfers, if you will. In the past year, 115 kids appealed the fact that they had to sit out because of switching schools. And of those appeals, 70 were approved.
You know what it'd be?
70 times the school system, okay, yes, you don't have to sit out. You're moving for a legitimate reason. So there's a mechanism there. There aren't a lot of cases of it being used. It's a problem in search of it's a solution in search of a problem, you know?
You know what I want to know, too, about those numbers and appeals. And again, this is what it goes back to. What parts of the state were those appeals from? Was it the Eastern Panhandle? Is it
Good
more
point.
the southern schools? Is it are they in the middle of the state? Are they big schools? Are they small schools? Where are they coming from?
Right. Got a text off my personal text line. It's a good point. Sometimes I don't think all this stuff through, and I should have thought this. This is off a text, my personal text line. Howard, this whole transfer thing is set up to help the charter schools. Well, that makes some sense. This legislature is pushing charter schools right and left as much as they can, and so this may well be another effort to try to push charter schools and make it easier for kids to get involved in a charter school and still be able to play athletics. You know, to me, and you and I have a little different approach to this, Biff. I love high school sports, especially football. You love football and basketball. I love high school sports. There's just nothing like a Friday Night Lights, right? So I'm not, but high school sports have a special cachet to them. And as you said, the more and more we want to try and make them like a college, game or sport, which is already becoming more and more like a professional sport, the more we're diminishing, I don't know, what is the hometownness of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, let these young men and women enjoy their 4 years of high school. I mean,
Yeah.
this is some of the best years of their lives right here, and you're basically just trying to take it away from them. Let them enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm with you. And again, thanks to the texter. And you all can text me at 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600 if you would choose to. The SSAC says, don't do it. The State Coaches Association says, don't do it. From our experience, there's a way to manage this problem without a new change in the law, and there's not that big a problem anyway. And if you do it, there's going to be a bigger problem. And so, once again, in West Virginia, the Senate says, really? All of you people involved in this think we shouldn't do it? Damn, we better do it. All right. If you want to reflect on that, you can give me a text or a call, and we'll talk about it. Let's talk about what's happening around the Upper Ohio Valley. Our team from TV7's got some Ohio Valley headlines for us. Bill DeFabio's in for the Friday sports update, and then we'll check with Aaron and see how long we have to worry about rain and this flood advisory that is out. It's all coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is 7:38.
Now it's time for your local news headlines from...
Really? I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Oh, I did hear that story. Yes, I did hear that. Yeah. Turks and Caicos. Shades of Sam Andy. Yeah. Well, let's revisit that after we get done with Aaron for a minute. I now that you mentioned, I remember that because I remember hearing the Turks and Caicos, and I thought, you've got to be kidding me. So yeah, let's revisit that and talk about that story when we get back done with Aaron. Also, we'll do. Man, excuse me, Biff. I got to get this crud out of my throat. It's been there for weeks. We'll do a status report before we get to the top of the hour, too.
14 losses. Remember, Division II, Saturday afternoon, Wheeling University, one of the best rivalries in college basketball. The Hilltoppers of West Liberty, ranked number 2 in the nation, will visit the Wheeling Cardinals. Be there. Gates open, 12:35. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey! Hey, buddy! Yeah! You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all,
Yep.
you probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 want to thank the owners and contractors of the Ohio Valley for using their locally trained workers to help build for the future. Local 83 helps design, fabricate, and build the gas infrastructure for the oil and gas industry here in the Ohio Valley. Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 is 300 members strong and growing. They also do residential, commercial, and industrial work on both sides of the river. For more information, call Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 83 at 304-233-4445.
Keep up with the ever-changing world of sports all night long. Sports Map Radio is on the Watchdog, FM 98.1, AM 1600.
He has his say. You can have yours. Text us or call us and join the conversation. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
We'll be taking a look at the latest in the Ukraine coming up in a minute or two and some of the reaction thereof. February 25th today, on this day in history, 186 years ago, Samuel Colt patented his revolver. We began the Colt 45 era. No, not the beer. No, the revolver. Let's see, 152 years ago today in 1870, Hiram R. Revels of Mississippi became the first black member of the U.S. Senate. He was sworn in to serve out an unexpired term of Jefferson Davis. 103 years ago today, this is something that's important because we're talking about it even these days. 103 years ago today, 1919, Oregon became the first state in the Union to tax gasoline. The gas tax began 103 years ago today. And Biffy, in sports, it was 1964 on this day. 7-1 underdog, a new guy named Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston to claim the heavyweight boxing title of the world. One day later, he announced that he had converted to Muslim and changed his name to
Muhammad Ali. Yep.
Yipper. Still one of the, in my mind, greatest and most fascinating sports figures of all time. Just absolutely amazing. I still to this day love to watch some clips of interviews that Cassius Clay did, Muhammad Ali did. You know, I think because he's a boxer, sometimes there's a tendency to think he wasn't a smart guy. He was a really smart guy. It was kind of like common sense smarts, you know, but smart stuff. All right, let's talk about the weather. Aaron Milo's a pretty smart guy when it comes to the weather, and that's why we have him here every morning to share things with us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning. How are you guys?
I guess we had a good bit of rain overnight. Is that correct?
We did. We got about an inch in most places. Some of us got a little bit more than that. But overall, we got a lot of rain so far. Well, not so far. It's over. So, not a lot of rain. But luckily, like I said, it's over now. The main thing now is we're seeing some flooding issues across the area. Like I know there's some flooding in McMecken. We're still under a flood advisory until about 8 a.m., so like another 15 minutes, I guess. With that, it's mainly we're seeing places that normally flood are flooding kind of thing. So just kind of take your time on the roads and watch out for any hydroplaning that you could get into on your way.
Yeah, I was surprised when I woke up and started putting things together. I saw that we have a flood advisory. It's not a watch, not a warning, an advisory in effect. Because I guess I slept through the night. I didn't realize we had rain, and I looked outside and it didn't look like it was raining very bad. But I guess we did, and so that's enough to create this flood advisory that we have. Although, as you point out, it only lasts another, 10 minutes or so, technically. Then it will pass, or they'll extend it, who knows. But I didn't know we had rain. But it's over and done with now, right?
Yeah, the rain is gone now. So now at this point, we're just kind of hoping that the flooding doesn't get any worse than it is now, just with stuff. But, I mean, the rain did end. It ended a little over an hour ago. So, yeah, I mean, luckily, like I said, we didn't get the mix like a lot of people off to our north got. They got a ton of mix up there. We just kind of got the rain. So that is good in that sense. Again, worse because more flooding. Better because we don't have ice and snow and everything all over the place.
Going to look for a high today, probably around the mid-30s. We're there, just about there right now.
Yeah, we're not really going to change it all today. Today's pretty much going to stay right in the mid-30s. Not really going to go anywhere for temperatures. So I took what you said where it's like, oh, we started off a little bit warmer than this, and then we're going to go down a few degrees. And I was like, well, do I put the technical high? And I was like, no, I'm going to put the high that it will be for the whole day.
Yeah, 34 is kind of what will sort of be like during the day. It's the way the forecast should read. I like that. Warm up a little bit for the weekend, though, right?
Yeah, a little. I mean, Saturday, we're going to have the clouds clearing out for your day tomorrow, high of 38. On Sunday, 45 for your high. So, again, still not warm, but hey, better than 34. And Sunday will be partly cloudy and mostly sunny skies, so it'll be a nice day. Monday looking like a nice day as well as clear skies for the most part. So we have more sunshine coming up here shortly, which is nice.
Yeah.
We're getting there slowly.
And I'm looking into next week. It's going to be a Monday, a little cooler, but your 7-day has 40-ish temperatures during the midweek next week as well.
Yeah. So again, not is it like warm? No, but it's not bad either. It could be a lot worse. So yeah, staying in like Tuesday's 47. After that, rounding off into like the mid and low 40s. But I mean, not too terrible. We should have some sunshine moving in on Wednesday and Thursday again, which will be nice. So we have days where you're probably going to be outside, even though you have to wear a jacket, but it won't be miserable outside.
Yeah, so it's a pretty typical February forecast, really. Nothing dramatic to worry about except maybe some flooding today, and we'll just keep an eye on that. But It's fairly typical February forecast as we begin to hope that winter is over and start to think a little bit about spring, and it's kind of the sort of forecast it is.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's very, I mean, clouds are variable for the most part. I mean, temperatures should be in the low 40s right now, so we're really not that far off from where we normally would be.
Right. All right. Any big plans for the weekend? That's my usual question to you.
Yeah. I have a friend coming in town this weekend. It'll be fun to see her.
Okay. And you
Just
get
from
any big
college.
plans to any big plans to do something? Going to go out to show or just take a walk on the trail or?
So far, what I'm planning, my favorite night is just to have like a friend over or some friends and just like chill at my place, cook some random recipe together, and just like have a bottle of wine while we're doing it, and just like real casual, chill, talking with your friend, having dinner kind of thing. So we're gonna do that at some point. Saturday, I think it's this weekend. There's like a wine festival at Ogilvy or something.
Okay.
So I thought we might go to that too. But I used to be the person that loved going to the club and stuff, and now I'm like, I like to stay in my house and like just do stuff with friends and cooking is like a nice little activity. What you get something at the end because you get to eat it.
Boy, you are falling right in line with the way we kicked the show off this morning. I have a new study out. 71% of people surveyed said they actually look forward to just being in instead of going out anymore. They love having friends over. This study you quoted it almost. They love just having friends over, having wine, having pizza, maybe watching a movie on TV or something, and to use your phrase, just chilling. That's where more and more of us are. Now, this is the way I've been for a long time. I mean, I enjoy being in. I used to be, Biff, you can testify to this. I used to be a guy who liked to be out all the time. I used to like to go out. Yes, indeed. But I like to just stay home, watch TV, hang out with my grandson. My wife and I might order pizza. And that's to me. But I thought I was just getting old. I thought it's just because I'm getting old. But apparently this is true of everybody. We're all just kind of learning to enjoy ourselves at home.
Exactly. I got into it like when I lived in Mississippi. My one friend lived in Nashville. She's like a sister to me. We've known each other literally forever. So we just started doing that because she knew how to, like, she went to Italy and knew how, like, for a semester. So she, like, we tried first off just making like ravioli and all that stuff. That was way too much work. I'm not into that much level of like energy being put into it. But I learned my lesson from there.
But if she likes to cook or somebody else would do the cooking, you'd like to just hang out and eat, right?
Yeah, it's like nice. Like I like to cook. I just don't. Okay, it's kind of really weird. I don't like touching flour or like powder. Like any of those chalky, like powdery substances, I just can't touch. I hate them. So I don't like the pasta that required a lot of flour, and I just sit there and watch because I was like, I'm not into it. But other stuff I like doing, like sometimes like Stephanie will come over and we'll cook, or sometimes Steven maybe, or like that's just my thing with friends. It's a nice night in. You still get to have fun and just relax, and it's not a whole dramatic evening.
Biff, put those notes in the book of Aaron's strange things that we're keeping over there. He doesn't like to use flour, but we've got a book here, Aaron. It's some of the strange things we've learned about Aaron. So put that in there. Hey, have yourself a good weekend. Stay in and drink some wine and enjoy things, and we'll talk again on Monday. Thanks for being here today.
No problem. Talk to you guys then. Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too. 7 before the hour on the Watchdog Morning Show. Aaron Myler from the Big 7, WTRF TV. 7:53, 7 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. The latest on Ukraine coming up at the top of the hour from ABC. Next hour, we haven't talked to him for a while, from Nexstar Media, the WTRF TV company, their parent company. Mark Curtis is going to be with us. We're going to talk about a bill that's kind of stuck in the House of Delegates, which could be holding up funding for public transportation, buses. And, according to a report from the Big 7 yesterday, the Transit Authority here in the Upper Ohio Valley says if they can't get this funding shaken loose, they're going to, have to cut back service. And if it never gets shaken loose, they may have to go out of business. That's the word from Overta. I am a huge believer that public transportation is a critical part of a growing community. And I think we need more I think we need more public transportation in Wheeling. At least we have the buses now. I have a lot of ideas on how we ought to be thinking more about public transit. But Mark Curtis will be here to tell us what the problem with this funding bill is and what needs to be done to kind of shake it loose out of the House of Delegates. So we'll have that coming up in the next hour, plus our capital report, also the Friday funnies. And in the 9 o'clock hour, Mr. McCabe and I will kick around the Friday roundtable. We were talking before the half-hour break about a piece of legislation that passed the West Virginia Senate over the objection of the SSAC and the State Coaches Association. The Senate has passed a bill, and now it goes to the House, that would allow high school athletes to simply transfer from school to school without a sit-out penalty. They can just transfer when they want to. The SSAC and the coaches say this is a bad idea. Biff was suggesting he thinks it's a bad idea. Bernie Dolan says it's not necessary. The SSAC numbers are that out of 40,000 students in the state, only 115 even applied for a transfer variance. Only 115 applied to keep their eligibility as they transfer from one school to another. And of those 115 who applied, 70 of them were approved. So again, it's a solution in search of a problem. But Biff, after we talked about that, you were mentioning, and I forgot, we actually had an example of that just this week, right?
Yeah, down in Beckley from Greater Beckley Christian. And this was from the, let me get the name of the paper down there. I think it's the Register Herald. And they appealed because there were 4 players that were ineligible, and Greater Beckley would be forced to forfeit all of their games, all of their wins against SSAC teams. So Greater Beckley right now, they were 14-6. So they were to have to forfeit 9 of those 14 games because of eligibility issues. So with the seedings for the sectional being this week, Greater Beckley, they are in Class A, they are in Region 3, Section 1. So after the seedings and everything, Greater Beckley is the 3 seed in their section. But this is I guess it's no real surprise that this happened, but it again goes back to what we were just talking about the.
Wasn't this the one? Didn't they have recruits from the Turks and Caicos?
Yeah, I think that's where a couple that they said that they were from, and I think another was from either Texas or New York. But yeah, it's just we're seeing it. I mean, we're seeing it right now, and Greater Beckley, they're allowed to play in the postseason. So they literally, with the team that they have now, I mean, they could play through the sectional, win their sectional, and go down to Charleston and play for a state tournament or a state championship in the Class A field. They could be one of the 8 teams in the field in single A.
Yeah, and that's why we have some of these rules in place to begin with to prevent that kind of stuff from happening. They recruited from Turks and Caicos. My God, reminds me of some times up here in the Wheeling area, Biffy. Once upon a time.
Oh, back in the early '90s. I think I think I know what you're getting at there. Yes.
I don't want to mention any names, but yeah, we all remember.
Hey, up here, we're no stranger to this either.
Many of us remember when international recruiting was was a thing. All right. So that's. I'm glad you remembered that. So this is an issue that's actually happening right now, and this bill was just it's a solution in search of a problem, and it has unintended consequences. As Bernie Dolan says, it creates a high school transfer portal like we have in colleges, and again, we don't need that kind of stuff. All right, let's head over to the news desk of ABC. They'll update us on the Ukrainian situation. We will talk about what's going on at the state capitol with our capital report, and then we'll talk to Mark Curtis about this public transit bill, plus the Friday Funnies next hour as well. It's 8 o'clock here on the Watchdog Morning Show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
From
All right, Biff. I sent you Mark Curtis's phone number, did I not? Okay. You can give him a buzz when we start the Capitol report. You can call him. And we'll do Friday Funnies. I want to do the Tooth Fairy that I sent you, because I actually have a Tooth Fairy story that I've been holding on my desk for a while. So I'll do that story, and we'll do the stand-up comedy on Tooth Fairy for the Friday Funnies in the next half hour, second half hour. All right, let's see. I believe it's time for more coffee, so I'll be back in a couple minutes. Okay, thanks.